Today's performance, fantastic result, 4-0, 3-0 at half-time. I felt the intensity was really good throughout. What are your thoughts on the performance?
I think that's exactly what we expected, to be honest with you. I've really challenged the lads, obviously all of the new ones that come in. It's not a secret that where we were before, we've brought a lot of them boys over, and the challenge was obviously for the lads that have come in or have been part of it before to kind of match that intensity, that aggression. And we spoke about before the game about kind of making them feel our presence and not giving them any moment of peace or any moment of respite to be able to control the game at any point. And our first half an hour was almost perfect, to be honest with you. They barely got out their half. We were intense, aggressive, very good on the counter, and then when we had to control the game in the first 30 minutes we did. Naturally you have a bit of a lull. I think we did after that period. I think when the third goal went in, there was a bit of we can relax. Ideally, I wouldn't like to see a lull. I would like to keep us going all the time, but obviously that's unrealistic. But yeah, other than that, and then thought in the second half again we gained a little bit of control again after about 10 minutes, and then from there it was quite routine in the end, is what I thought.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you touched on the older players, shall we say. How did you feel that they kind of contributed when they came on as subs?
Yeah, and by the way, the ones that started as well, because Ed obviously started, and and Owen Pelham. I thought Owen was great today. I really did. Ed playing in a bit of a new position for him, but I felt like he looked comfortable as well. And you don't win the game with 9 men, so obviously they contributed greatly to that, and that was just into the starting 11. And then obviously the boys Lawson, Will Yates and Kieran that come on were equally as good, and obviously getting the man sent off, you have to go to a little bit of a different plan, even though we were 4-0 up at the time. But even then we saw quite a bit from them. And listen, like, a lot of these lads haven't been coached before, and you need time with them. But from what we've seen so far, we've been very, very pleasantly surprised, and as a staff can't really understand why they're in the situation they was in before we come in, because there is some good players here. There genuinely is some good players, so we're delighted with all of them. Really means I'm not come away winning 4-0, you're obviously going to be pleased. So yeah, I think they've contributed greatly.
I think the word coached is probably a good one, because I've seen it over the last 10-15 games that basically there is no composure, there's no kind of game plan, should we say. And obviously playing with better players, they're going to come on, they're going to develop and just be calm, and that's what I saw out today. It was refreshing. Is there anything about the culture of the older players that you need to kind of change? Do you think that they're going to kind of integrate themselves well? How do you see it going forward?
There's been a lot of change so far. Where you can see today, there's a lot of people that aren't here who were here. And that means that we've obviously had to let a few go. The ones that we've let go are ones that, I took the advice of people that were already at the club, or people who knew those players and stuff. And that's not just because I don't know them players, so I can't really comment on that. But we have a very big ethos on people first. Like, we've got a very human first philosophy. And that means that, if you're a good person, if you fit in with the culture of what we want as a coaching staff, we'll then see what you do as a player after, and then from there we decide if you're a right fit for us. But it's always a human first element of it. And the ones that are here, the ones that are still training, and the ones that are still in and around it, are the ones we want at the club. Because ultimately, if we didn't want them at the club, we would have let them go. And that's so important. Like, we've found out as a coaching staff over the last 3 years since we've been in management that that takes you a very, very far, very, very long way, and you can see that in the performance. First half an hour, you don't get them sorts of performances where you can blow a team away without cohesion. If you don't have that cohesion, it's very, very difficult, because then when, as I said, you have a lull in the game, if you to be able to come out of that lull, you need cohesion and togetherness to be able to say to lads like, come on, let's come together, remember what we're supposed to be doing, and then go and do it again. If you don't have that, you'll have lads that start battering each other and stuff like that, and that's toxic and not what we need.
And moving forward to the next game, Tuesday night, I believe it's Easebourne.
Yeah.
I believe it is, down at the Roffey field. Are there going to be any changes as far as you're concerned, or are you going to stick with a settled team?
Again, there'll be minor changes, of course there will, because again, it's a period of us trying to work out what fits where best. You know, like as I said, we've come into a team where I didn't really know much of the players, not really much footage of the players, so it's quite difficult for us to make quick decisions. And you know, we've only had 2 training sessions and a friendly, so it's difficult for us to see who fits where. And also, again, if you look at any level of football, the more a team plays together with consistent players, then they're normally the teams that do best. So there won't be loads of changes, no, there won't be, but 1 or 2 maybe, but we'll have to see.
I suppose training sessions as well, people can impress and obviously force your hands, you know, basically to put him in the starting 11.
Absolutely, and even into the squads, to be honest with you. Like again, because as I said, like we've got lads that missed out on the squad today who, for one reason or another, aren't in the squad. But that doesn't mean that the lads who are starting or the lads that are on the bench are just guaranteed to be there all the time. It doesn't mean that. We've had it at previous clubs where, again, you don't need 16, you need 18. And if everyone can buy into that and look at the long-term vision of where we want to go, that's what drives you forward. You can't do it with 14 people, 15 people.
And what would you say your long-term vision is at Midhurst?
This season is win as many games as we can. Like, I genuinely think we can go into any game and win it. I genuinely believe that. If you look at the lads we've brought in, they've good pedigree, good players, and this season have been playing and we're performing extremely well. Moving forward beyond that, you know, like it's no secret, as I said, like we want to win every game. Winning every game obviously then means promotions and stuff like that. That's what we want. That's the kind of culture we want to bring. Always having a winning mentality. I think winning becomes a habit, and it has done over the last how many years for us as a staff and some of these players that have come in. So I'm not saying it's going to be easy because football doesn't work like that, but having that mindset and that culture of a winning mentality is what we're looking to bring in.
Yeah, because obviously I know Tom's, the chairman's got a lot of plans for the club, and it's very positive. You and your staff coming in, I mean, I feel very optimistic, and obviously it's not just after a one win. You know, I can just feel that around the place. You know, obviously we're at a neutral venue here today, but it's things are more buoyant, and that's great. Yeah.
Again, like sometimes you need change for that to happen, and again, it's no discredit to what's gone before, because as I said, there's still some very good players here that we probably wouldn't have signed because we wouldn't have known about them. So, you know, we're grateful for that, genuinely are grateful for that, but I do think, again, the way Tom and the rest of the board described the vision to me, it matched up with what we want to do. So now it's kind of like, let's, you know, the path's been laid out, let's walk it and walk it as well as we can.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cheers, mate.